Hey guys, welcome back to the CNSL Season 6. Right now we're in the second match of Group H. This is going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg to start off today. We have Saber on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we have Spire, who's been going by the ID Sol a little bit more. I think that you guys have seen a fair amount of games from both these players if you've been following ArtosisCasts for a long time. Saber more recently, because he did get absolutely mangled by Mihu. For anyone that recalls, I believe the final map score was 8-1 in Mihu's favor. Saber was just having a real hard time getting anything going. He is a very high-ranked player, gets to play a lot in the pro scene with the other pros and everything, but I think he's a little bit of an underdog for this group. Spire, on the other hand, you know, he's been a rising Zerg for a while. Like, we were really talking about players like Zealot, Beast, Spire, you know, they were all kind of in the same breath for a while there. Yabsab, you know, a few others like that as well. I feel like I haven't seen as much of Spire since then. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what shape he's in. I feel like it's been probably a year or so since I've casted his games. Maybe a little bit less than that, but it's been a while. Haven't seen him around quite as much. But anyways, it's Zerg vs. Zerg. Absolutely anything can happen. We do have an Overlord into gas pool here for Spire. And over on the other side, it is a slightly quicker spawning pool with the slower Overlord. So it looks like this is just straight up a 9-pool gas. So maybe a little bit more aggressive opener here from Saber. But generally, we consider this opener to be a little bit ahead because you're generally up a drone if you go for the Overlord before the spawning pool. And also, your spawning pool is so quick that the odds of your opponent doing any damage with those initial 6 lings, like these 6 lings, if you went hatchery first, okay, those lings are probably going to do something, right? Like, they're at least going to damage the hatch, maybe make you pull some drones out, lose some mining time, that type of thing. But we'll see how it ends up, right? The lines, I feel like nowadays, are not quite as clear-cut as what we saw, you know, back in, like, the Prime Kespa era. You know, sometimes you get, like, an aggressive opener like this going up against an opener like this, and the aggressive player will somehow just kind of wiggle it out, you know, get to the mutas a little bit quicker, keep the pressure on with the lings a little bit more, that type of thing. We'll see, though. A nice lineup here at the choke. We have some lings and a drone in there. The drone does have a little bit of range. That's a really interesting lineup. I've actually never seen it like that. I've seen the drone pushed up against the lings, but he's using 4 lings and a drone. Really not that common. Now, we do have the lineup completed. We do have a little gap there. You can see he's pushing his all together. You know, I've talked about this before, but these Zergling lineups have become completely common in Zerg vs. Zerg. If you get them exactly next to each other, and then your opponent attack moves into you, they're so close that the attack mover will never get good pairings ever, right? Wherever you attack on a Zergling, 2 Zerglings are going to be attacking you. Or, like, let's call it 90% of the time that's going to be the case. And you simply can't keep your lings this close together while you attack. So, basically, you get better surface area like that. So, these moves make it incredibly hard. You have to have way more Zerglings to break through. It's not undoable, right? But it's strong. Okay, so you can see here he actually drills 2 drones. Really smart move right there from Spire, and he will bust those lings up. The drill really kind of selling it. Now, the one ling is going to circle around and see this timing here of this Spire. The Spires are actually really well lined up, so going to be seeing those finish at the same time. The gas is almost exactly the same on both sides as well. And we have the natural hatchery starting for Spire. Let's look over at Saber's base. He's actually, since he lost those lings, he's going ahead and making a sunken colony. So he is going to try to defend pretty heavily here. His 2 remaining lings come up to try to fight. Oh, God, you don't want to be losing any drones. He is down a drone already. Oh, loses another. Can't be losing too many there. Loses another. Oh, man. Loses 2 drones to that attack. Plus, he had to make the sunken colony. Whereas Spire is making a hatchery. It just feels like Spire's opening, like he's executed it super well, and certainly feels like he's well ahead right now. there is going to be an opportunity here for Saber, right? This isn't paying off yet. The drone inadequacy, let's call it, isn't hurting him that much yet. Well, I guess he's a little tiny bit short on minerals right now, but he's got to get something done ASAP, or Spire is going to be able to run away with this as his second hatchery finishes and he gets more gas. You know, at that point, you're just pumping out anything, mutas, Scourge, whatever. And because you get twice as much gas as your opponent, they're just not going to be able to catch up at that point. So this is a very brief window for Saber to make something happen. Tries to put some damage onto that Overlord. Not a bad idea. Both them up to 4 mutas. See, this is the problem, right? You have basically the same gas count. Very, very hard right now to make something happen for Saber. You know, you're trying to attack, but we're closer to the rally points of your opponent. And now that he's actually mining with the gas, I mean, every minute is 3 more mutas, right? Or way more Scourge. So it's an issue. In fact, this game honestly looks about done. We're gonna have a bunch of Scourge popping out now, really close to this base. Spire jumping in on top of these Mutalisks. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it. That should end up being game. Spire, just with a slightly better opener, got the advantage there and actually ran away with it like super hard. GG, Spire to the winners match. So getting right into this winner's match to see who will be going forward. We have Mihu here with a just slightly forward 8 racks opener. A little bit of a rush going up against Spire, who just won that very, very quick Zerg vs. Zerg in a pretty dominating fashion. Now, he is actually going for a pool first. So that is, what was that, like an 11 pool or something? I wasn't paying super close attention. But anyways, any pool first is very good against 8 racks. If it was double 8 racks, then I would already be calling the game over with Spire being the victor. But as is, he probably really shouldn't be... Wait, what? Gas as well? So this might be just a very quick layer build. That's a real possibility. But yeah, he shouldn't really be taking damage from Mihu. There is the chance, though, that he only makes like 2 lings and maybe, you know, 3 Marines come down because he's not getting like a super quick scout or anything like that. Let's see. But yeah, just in general, any pool first really shuts down those early barracks plays from Terran. Mihu getting his gas very quickly here as well. He will be following up with a factory, so keeping a high pressure build on right now, and plenty of lings being made. So actually the Marines have to stay home / turn around and get inside the possible wall, and maybe you make a bunk or something like that. Second SCV coming out. Looks like he wants to maybe hide his factory, but it's not well timed. There it is. Okay. I mean, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. I don't want to be too overly critical, but could have been just slightly faster, I guess. Now, Marines have been made pretty much nonstop. There's like 4 Marines out there right now. And if you have them kind of clumped up well and catch the lings coming in line, you absolutely will win that fight. I mean, he sees that the barracks is making Marines pretty nonstop, and he sees no command center. So I gotta say, for me right now, it looks like this is pretty decent for Spire. Right? Like, all he's gonna have to do is get a sunken up immediately. Now, Mihu's coming across the map with 5 Marines, so he has to not only get a sunken up immediately, but make more lings as well. Like, he needs that sunken. He needs it, because if the Vulture gets down there, this game can end. Straight up, the game can end from that Vulture. The layer is going to be finishing, and that is a very, very fast layer. Speed is on the way. You can kind of counter the Vulture with speed, but that's not how you want to do it. Like, you really do need that static defense as well, especially with this many Marines popping out at this point. Up at Mihu's base, he's going for the starport, so maybe a quick Wraith out of this as well. It could turn into like a Valkyrie rush. Like, it's a little bit hard to say, but I think he's probably just going to grab a Wraith. Now, here comes the attack. See, the Vulture just so strong here, and he is going to pick off the Overlord. So this is like one of the more unit-heavy 8 raxes that I've seen that goes into a factory. Generally, it doesn't look quite like this. Again, if he had had a sunken immediately, this would not have been as much of an issue, right? The Vulture wouldn't have been able to really fight. This many Marines could technically kill it, but with all those Lings there, it wouldn't have happened. Now, the Lings do get a surround on the one Vulture, but it looks like Spire is going to go ahead and lose his hatchery. Definitely not what you're looking for here. Great micro there from Mihu, forcing the Lings back, getting a lot of damage on that ramp. Oh, man, very good catch. It does get caught up against that Marine. A single Speedling looks like he'll make it into the main base. This is a lot of Marines right now, and basically only Lings being made still. He is making his first Mutalisk finally. Now, the Lings come down the ramp to engage at the same time as those 4 Lings hatch, so he will clean out the Marines. This is getting a little bit wild. So if he could actually make like 3-4 Mutas, he could go kill. But he can't. He can't do it. Like, he had to use so many larvae for Zerglings. If Mihu's pressure hadn't gone as well as it did, like if it had done slightly worse, I feel like he'd be dead right now. But, you know, that's the name of the game sometimes. You take a little risk as Mihu, putting down these aggressive timings, trying to push out and keep that pressure on, and it certainly has worked for him. Right now, 12 drones is no good. The Mutas are going to start hitting the Vultures. The Vultures trying to dive in and kill any Lings they can before they die. Obviously, they're going to go down, but you want to kill off those Lings because you have so few units left at home. Okay, the one Wraith gets an Overlord and now is going to die to the Mutas. Not sure if I'm a huge fan of that. But he does supply block him, so that's something at least. Another Vulture coming across. Looks like all the buildings are going to float back. He's got, for units right now, guys, 1 Vulture, 2 Vulture, and a Wraith. That's the entire army. Now, since he has a Vulture split and he's controlling very well, he is reducing that Zergling count, because honestly, like, just a small group of Zerglings could run in here and win the game. But he is reducing that, and obviously, you know, there was the supply block that was mixed in there as well, which has really screwed up Spire. He finally unblocks himself, and it's like, well, do you make Lings? Do you make Mutas? Do you make drones? Not the easiest choices. So the Muta's going up the map right now. The Mutas will easily beat a Wraith. The Wraiths are... The Wraith is getting Cloak right now. Second Wraith is on the way. He's built a few missile turrets here to try to keep him back. Love this second one here, just in the nick of time as well. Like, all of this is just on the edge of Spire maybe being able to kill Mihu. But Mihu, like, has, I would say, exactly the right amount. Like, if he had one less, I think that Spire flies in and just does so much damage. As is, it looks like he will be able to stall everything out and get into Cloak. 3 Cloaked Wraiths, it's an older counter to Mutalisk Harassment, but it generally buys you enough time to get out whatever else it is that you want. It looks like it's going to be Science Vessels as well as Marines. Now the Wraiths getting ready to add their damage in against those Mutas. Let's take a look what Spire is up to. Oh my god. He's actually going for quick lurkers here. Wow. So I think he might be looking at this and thinking... Well, I don't think he's thinking about running up the ramp with lurkers, but if you put lurkers at the bottom of the ramp against someone doing this, sometimes that can be a really good play. But honestly, I feel like Mihu already has a strong counter, right? He's got a few Cloaked Wraiths. It's not a huge amount that we've seen in the past in some of these games where you just kill the opponent with pure Wraith, but it's good anti-Muta, right? But then also he's already getting a Science Vessel. So small amounts of lurkers, I don't think are going to actually do that well. Well, it looks like he is getting ready to make quite a few. There's like 4 here and then a couple more Hydras being made. No additional drones. We've been on 12 drones for a really long time. The Cloaked Wraiths going across the map, scouting, harassment, all sorts of things they're going to be able to do. But that does make him a little bit more susceptible at home to possible damage, right? Okay, goes after that Overlord, gets it. That's a supply block. There are already 4 lurkers on the way. There's 5 Mutas here. There's an Overlord moving up for detection and spotting. He's going after drones. Dude, this game is coming to a head right now. Huge amounts of damage being dealt to this economy with just 3 Wraiths. But Spire is pretty all in with his own response. So both sides, like, I mean, someone is about to win. It looks like Mihu, but this has the potential to win as well. This is a lot of units. But look at this. Multiple bunkers go up. The lurkers and Lings should be able to smash this one really quickly. And Well, I think he needs to bring these forward to really get the surface area. There you go. Gets on top of this bunker as well. Oh, my God. This is absolute madness right now. He's getting on top of everything. This may end up coming down. Look at this. Irradiate is just going to finish. I think the rates... Oh, he irradiates a lurker. Okay, I was going to say, I thought maybe if you irradiate a Mutalisk, then the rates can fight the rest of the mutas, something like that. He is making another raid. The lurker's on top of everything. Let's see, back at home, only 5 drones. Some more Hydras being made. Oh, man, he's going to lose his last lurker. Oh, no, it's not his last lurker. That's his last lurker, but the muta's coming in and dealing some massive damage to these wraiths as well. He finally kills that, cloaks the second wraith that pops out, and it looks like barely a hold on both sides. Mihu, though, with way more workers and good production. He's got a Vessel. He has a Radiate. He has a couple Cloaked Wraiths left and 3 Raxes with Stim already done. Yeah, this looks like a Mihu victory to me. It's just the drone count is a bit too low, right? I guess we're going to have one more all-in attempt here from Spire. But with this many bunkers, like, look at this. He's adding anything out that he can get. Like, even Vultures here are going to be very, very useful, right? Like, against unupgraded Hydras / Lings, the Vultures are very, very strong. And then you put on top of that, we have these bunkers. We have some medics coming out. I doubt he has range, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Muta's doing a pretty good job trying to reduce these Wraiths a bit. What a crazy aggressive game that we've had. Wow. Okay, the Marines pop out, and yeah, with the Vessel, like, this set of units basically has to win. Range is on the way now as well. He's got his units down the ramp as to not be contained, but, like, not even making lurkers. That's how bad this economy truly is. I think that's going to be it. He attacks and realizes absolutely not enough, and it looks like Mihu going to be the second non-Korean to win his group here. In the CNSL. Very, very impressive stuff. We did have DeWalt already advanced, and Mihu joins him.